Hi guys. So you're well aware that it's customary now for me to record a little video once I've completed my Wednesday night webinar. And I have to say tonight was another absolutely riveting discussion. But I am going to talk to you about something, it is a little bit more politically edgy. And it's about the monster right now that, well, for a long time, not just right now, has been plaguing our planet. It's called racism. And no matter where you are, no matter what your job title is or what business you own, run, manage, you work for, this is something that is part of the conversation, of every conversation in the world. And so I wanted to take some time tonight, just level with you guys and share something that I think has been so phenomenal. Take a chance, put this out onto social media. But obviously, this is not coming from any place of disrespect. This is not coming from any place of expectation. This is just a message. I'm chatting you through some ideas that I shared with a friend of mine who challenged me, and I really appreciate that about her. And if you feel there's any value in what I'm saying to you now, at whichever point that you are listening to this message or watching this video, then I would appreciate you sharing it with anyone else who can influence the actions that we take to fight racism. Be that somebody in government, somebody in business, owning a business, whatever scale of business that may be, someone who's a consultant, teachers and educators, anyone who you consider to be influential in your life, just consider sharing the message with them if you see any value in it. And it all started when it's a very good friend of mine for over 20 years now. She uses every single bit of space that she occupies, be it online or in person, to challenge humanity and to make people think. She lives life to the fullest, and if she watches this video, she'll know exactly who she is. She tagged me in a post on Facebook, which basically brought everything into perspective. We're all marching, we're protesting, we're speaking up in many ways as a community globally, within South Africa, pockets of neighborhoods and communities, wherever you are in the world. The issue of race right now is really bringing up a lot of emotion, and that's understandable. We were asked by my friend to get real about what action we can take. What if you had to write a checklist of action items? What could be done beyond talking and making noise? And the first thing I said to her is something that I actively practice in my business at the Creative Angels Fashion Benefit. When you submit your application form and when you register as a trainee, whether that's for our modeling programs or fashion design programs, or to be a member of the cast and crew in any way, if you are a vendor or a service provider, a freelancer, however you're involved with us, I do not ask for race on my forms. I don't, because I don't give a damn. If you are a human being, to me, that means you already have limitless potential to achieve anything you want to achieve. The color of your skin is not going to make you any better or any worse at our programs and the things that we teach. I don't have marks to assess you guys by. There is no such thing as a person of one skin color ever being able to achieve more than another person just on the basis that their skin color is not the same. I think it is utter bullshit. And I'm not living in a bubble. I have been a victim of racism many times. I have had people, even in my own race, judge me because of the way that I communicate with other human beings. And I'm okay with that. It's not going to change who I am. My family has raised me to value human life as human life. The second thing that I suggested in response to this challenge is a little bit more politically edgy, And it's important to me that you guys know this is not coming from a place of disrespect. It's not coming from a place of judgment in the sense that, I think I can do better than the person in charge. It's not about disrespect. It's not about dragging people down. It's important to me that you guys get this. It occurred to me that there's also in South Africa a lot of talk about Black economic empowerment, and there's all these systems and structures, and it's now encouraging people to go in the reverse direction, because prior to South Africa becoming a democratic country, people were prevented from accessing economic opportunities because of the color of their skin. And while we have a constitution that demands that freedom for people and demands that equality, putting it into practice in a business, it's not like a Cinderella story. It doesn't just magically hit midnight and then everything kind of change. And I have been exceptionally blessed to work with so many different people from all walks of life and get to see everyone and all their struggles and different kinds of struggles. And this whole issue of Black economic empowerment, it's there to try and balance the scales, right? It's there to try and address the fact that there was an injustice. And a mathematics teacher of mine from high school actually used to say, guys, if the scales are imbalanced, somehow you've got to put a little bit of extra pressure down on one side to get it level again. It doesn't just magically happen by itself. You actually have to exert a little bit of extra pressure. And I think, in my opinion, that Black economic empowerment is that little bit of extra pressure, which is great. But I think we've also failed as a country in terms of how we manage Black economic empowerment. While I was browsing through LinkedIn, I also came across different ways to incentivize staff, incentivize people, motivate people to really give the best of themselves. And I thought, well, that's interesting. Black economic empowerment. Where does it all begin? And I thought, right now, kids are going back to school. Everyone's uncertain. There are lots of schools already that have had cases of COVID and testing positive, whether it's parents that are dropping the kids off or kids actually contracting COVID at schools. We're seeing lots of Facebook pages for schools put out letters about positive cases, known or suspected cases. And schools are then shut down again. And it's going to be the cycle of every 2 weeks. And I thought, here's an idea. Again, if there's any value that you see in this idea, please share it with anyone who can influence it and get it to the right pair of eyes. Why are we not incentivizing our Minister of Basic Education on the level of access that Black children in South Africa have to educational resources? If every school in South Africa has its textbooks on time, if it has windows that are not broken, that are in good condition, that fully open and close, roof without holes in it, security system, if every Black child in South Africa can have access to a structurally sound school building, if every Black child in South Africa can have access to a teacher who gives a damn, not a teacher who's there because they tried everything to avoid mathematics in their own career, or their parents told them they had to go out and get a job, or because PGCE was the only viable option at one point in their life. If every Black child had access to a teacher who gave a damn, who acted like a mentor, who looked at that classroom filled with Black children and said, you are going to be amazing. You are going to fulfill every little bit of potential you have as a human being. And if the minister could be incentivized on screening teachers coming into the educational system, making sure that not just IQ requirements, but EQ requirements are met, I think we'd have a radically different country, even just 10 years down the line. The state of literacy in our preparatory school level, even just at grade 4 entering the senior primary, it's shocking, it's abominable. It is nothing to be proud of. And yet we have the potential to do so well. So this is one of the ways that I responded to the challenge. And I know that it comes with a huge demand, a huge demand, a huge shift in thinking. And I don't want to say that it has to require a change in leadership, but it requires a change in the style of leadership in this country. I am not pleased with every position of power that is being filled and highlighted. And this was my way of saying, surely we can do something about it. I have every faith that the right person and the right leader will bring about the results and bring about the change that we need and the growth that we need. And it is not about political parties. It is not about political parties. If we are looking at racism and systemic racism, and we're trying to make sure that we can fairly introduce affirmative action and Black economic empowerment, my question and the way that I'm thinking is really, where does it start? And to me, I think it starts at basic education. It starts at the level of preschools and primary schools. And I have faith. I think it's possible. I don't know how long it will take. I don't have all the answers. But I have this idea. And for what it's worth, if there's any way that I can contribute to making it happen, if this video ever ends up in front of a pair of eyes that can make it happen, then you're looking at the face of at least one South African who is willing to chip in and do that. I have seen firsthand the condition of some of these schools in the 8 years that I have run the benefit. My heart really shatters, especially for the Black children of South Africa. My heart shatters because there are leaders who have just downright failed them. And there are so many people in the private sector who are taking responsibility to go and fill those gaps. But it's not sustainable. So again, this is not coming from a place of disrespect. I'm not here to say that I can do better or I'm the best and I have all the answers. No, this was just to share these ideas with you and ask that if you see value and you think it's worth it, please share it on. That's all I really want to ask of you guys today.